This is Level Up Success Podcast with Neth and Truth.
I tend to put people on a pedestal and they can't live to that expectation, and then they just don't want anything to do with it because I'm big. I'm not going to think of something small. You know, I come from the theater. You don't walk on the stage and be like, hello. You go, hello. You know what I'm saying? You have to do everything grand and big so they hear you all the way in the back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm never going to do something small. And people just, and so when I tell them, oh, I believe that you could do this, you could do that. Even the guy that I signed for my for the podcast production, he didn't want to do it at first. And I'm like, first I gave him a T-shirt with his logo on it. I was like, how come you didn't wear the shirt? Oh, it's not really my style. That's your logo, bro. I almost flipped out, and I'm like,
I mean, the thing is this, like, let's say, I mean, and this is me, like, this is me talking to you right now. Let's just say, for instance, let's say, oh, it's not my style. Like, why didn't you bring it up beforehand?
Well, that was the thing. I did it as a surprise because I thought anybody would flip out over it.
Yeah.
For sure, your own logo. Yeah, I think I would.
No, I would wear it.
Well,
and then,
he was kind of like, I don't know if I like the logo yet, this and that. But little did he know, the reason why I wanted to sign the show was the first time that I saw, because I known this guy, he lived in my building all his life. As soon as I saw what he posted, his logo, I was like, I want that logo. And I'll do anything I got to do to get what I want. I saw that logo. I was so envious because it was so clean. I love the colors. I like the name. And I'm like, man, how do I get that logo? And then sure enough, I found a way. I signed him to the sponsored production deal. But I didn't think that he was... I don't think that he was ready to bet on himself yet until maybe he probably talked with his girl or his mom, and then they realized that my intentions were good. Because he started talking about ads from other people and this, and I was like, but we're not really talking about money. Like, we're trying to build the show at first, and I'm trying to showcase the studio and the marketing stuff we got going here. So there's no really need for other sponsors when I'm already sponsoring you. It's like people sign sponsorship deals for a certain amount of time, and then when someone else comes in with a bigger bag, and then that's when you start renegotiating. I was like, but this is something we could just try. And then he gained the confidence. Within the week, he was like, I'm all for it. Tell me what you want me to wear, this and that. And I'm like, this is the attitude I was looking for.
Yeah, sometimes people just need that reassurance. And because I could understand in a sense, because I always try to understand people. Like,
yes.
My thing is, because I always, like, even though people do erratic things, I kind of want to put myself in their shoes and see why are they thinking these erratic thoughts, right? So, in his case, he was just thinking, like, what is in it for him?
Exactly.
So then you probably just gave him that reassurance, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, like this is a good thing for me. This is an investment that I can make right here. Like,
and someone believes in you.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe in you, dude. It's like that's the biggest thing for you right now. I'm offering you a free studio. I'm offering you free merchandise company. I'm gonna help distribute you. Like, all you gotta do is show up and do the work.
Yeah.
Luckily, he took the deal because I was so upset that he wasn't taking it. A year before that, for WeBrands, I had a partner with a graphic design dude, and I had to get rid of him because he didn't realize. I was like, you don't gotta put him no money. You just got to come with your expertise. I will buy all the equipment. I'll buy all the inventory, everything that we need. I'll bring in accounts. And while we're working, you'll show me what you know. So that way now we'll have two powerhouses, graphic designing and vinyl cutting, doing whatever. He felt like he was doing all the work just because I didn't have a degree like him. I was like, in time, I'm sitting here cutting vinyl with you and this and that. He wanted to split the money with every account right then and there. I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? I come from the streets. You get the re-up first. You don't start smoking your profit, buying Jordans before you get the re-up. So I would like to do a job, take all that money, pay off our debts, buy new equipment, have our inventory ahead by 6 months. No, he wanted to do it where you split 50-50 and then you take 25% to put, like, that's a way to do it, to put back for overhead. That's a way to do it, but then that's slow growth.
Exactly.
We have jobs. We make money. I wasn't doing this for money. I was doing this to build. Mm-hmm. It's going to take 2 to 5 years. That minimum 2 to 5 years. And I was ready for that because I was making money doing other things. He was too. But for some reason, he was just money hungry. And then towards the end, I was like, yo, this has to end.
Work,
I was like, you're thinking like too little and too slow. And I'm like, and you want to buy a house? I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, you're not going to do that. You're not going to get ahead this way. It's another rat race. You're just going to be going around in a circle trying to cover this and that. I was like, nah, man, let's put it all back in and then just not having to owe and be ahead of where we need to be. And the money will come in like 2 years. Trust me. We'll be in the black in 5. Probably have 2 or 3 stores. And he branched off to go do his own thing. But yeah, I'm still 2 years with bigger overhead than him. I think he's working out of his room or something. I was like, you should have stuck with me. Yeah. We could have had more studios right now. Could have had people working for us by this point.
You know, but it happens, man. Like, I mean, that's just the world that we live in, man. Because I always thought to myself, man, like if you were to do any company, even like the so-called pyramid schemes, right? Even those so-called, like, imagine everybody says yes.
As they do, those pyramid schemes are wild.
No. It depends which one, right? Because there's some that are crazy, right? But there are some that if you were to just like there's some companies that I've been deal with before, where I know that if everybody were to just say yes to it, you know what I mean? Like, it'll be successful. Not all of them, though. Because I don't know all of them. I don't want to, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to put that message out there.
I mean, I think the banking system is a pyramid scheme because you give it to one, they give it to other, they give it to you. So it already is. And we know that system is a failed system, but it does work. It's a corrupted system.
But even corporate, like, businesses, like if you think about it, it's all like that. It's just, you know.
They have a TikTok video right now. It's one of these. It's the guy that owns McWendell's in Coming to America. It's him and two other guys. It goes, you owe me $10. Okay, here's the $10. Yeah, but you owe me $10. Don't you owe me $10 another day? Okay, and then everybody's paid off and even, and nobody made nothing. I was like, this is the idiocy of what we're dealing with, of people not being financially literate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a big thing that I'm actually teaching my niece at the moment. Yeah, I asked her the question: would you rather have a job and get a check, or would you want to learn how to make money? She wanted the check because then she could have a job and have food and pay bills. I was like, yeah, but you have a limit as to how much you can make. If I teach you how to make money, you can make as much as you want whenever you want.
Yeah.
And that's not to say not to have that job. You have to have the job until that extra you're doing becomes the new job, and then it becomes your company.
I mean, that's how we always say, like, work on your 5 and 9. It was.
So you work on your 9 to 5. And then afterwards, you work on your 9 to 5, because eventually your 9 to 5 will become your career.
Absolutely. Yeah. You need to be always doing extra, no matter how much extra time that you have. And usually you should point in a direction that makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people, yeah, all right. Oh, I've been at work all day. Yeah, so has everyone else. You got to do the extra. You got to work out. You got to build something else. You got to put time in with your kid. You got to study. You got to train. I'm like, there isn't just you go to work, you come home, you lay down. No, that's not it. The day doesn't end there. Yeah. Ask a single mother. Think about what a single mother got to go through every day. I think of that when I think about being tired or lazy. Like, nah, man, a single mother can't be tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, I that's just always a good motivation in my head, as an example of a single mother. You know, if it's a single father, usually they have help from the family. Single mothers are usually always on their fucking own, and they can't. Like, think about it, 6 a.m., wake up, kids, get in, and then go to work, come back, can't rest. You have to take care of yourself, then take care of kids and cook and go to bed. And then you got to wake up and do the whole shit all over again. You know, so I always look at that as a prime example of, man, ain't no time to waste, bro.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, that's a good philosophy. I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah, my parents were single parents at times. I lived with my dad. He was a single parent. So I've seen it, and I've dated a single mother before. So I know how it is, man. I've seen it.
All right, but that's good stuff, man. Let me ask you this. I noticed also that you do have like you have something going like on Instagram, right? Like you have your own like show. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, there's numerous things on the Instagram, and I'm working to organize all of it. I have mad different characters. There's Biff the Book Flipper. That's like a series in itself, because once we do 10 videos, it turns into a movie. And then there's like there's a music video and so on and so forth. Then I have a Crazy Karen series where I pretend to be a crazy Karen on my brother and my niece. Okay. Now I also I'm developing a show for the We brands. So it's going to be like The Office, but for print and design shirts. So it's not a paper company. It's just it's a print and design thing. And I've been writing so many episodes for this, and I'm getting into doing racial humor. I'm parodying. I want to see how hard people are going to laugh at certain things. It's a reflection as to people's ignorance and stupidity, but it's going to be tastefully done. The thing with racial humor is that you can't miss.
Yeah,
So you gotta make sure you hit the mark every time. Otherwise, then you're racist at this point. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, anything could be racist nowadays.
Yeah,
So it's all but me,
everybody too sensitive.
The
nowadays.
best part is I come from a different era. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I like I said, I'm a different person. I haven't had to deal with a lot of backlash that other people have to deal with because I don't know why. Maybe it comes accepted from me, just my vibe or the way I come off. You know, I'm not malicious. You know, I'll never want to be a dick, but I don't mind being an asshole because assholes are funny. You know, I take pride in being an asshole. No matter what people call me an asshole, it is what it is, but it's funny. You know, even you're going to laugh if I'm poking fun at you, and no one's safe. You know, I'm not aiming at one person, but that's going to be enveloped into the We Brand series. I want to start bringing that kind of humor back where you could just say what you want as long as it's funny, it's tasteful. You know, I'm not going to just say stupid shit just to say stupid shit. You know, and I come from a diverse culture. You know, I have white skin, brown blood, grew up in a black culture, live in America, live in your shell. It's so diverse over there. You know what I'm saying? It's not just it's not one-sided. You know, and really at the end of the day, it's a class system because they look at you the same depending on how much is in your bank account, how you come off, you know? It is what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, the TV show. The TV show is gonna be hilarious. We start our writing. I have my writers coming in next Wednesday, and I already laid out most of it. So they're just gonna come and edit and add their spices to it. I have my actors set up, and the soundstage is the studio because no one's ever there half of the day. So I have free range. I was like, people don't see that. You know what I'm saying? What you have right in front of you. I have multiple sound stages. I have a bar by my house where I'm very good friends with the bartender there. She's like, you ever want to record here, just let me know and we'll set it up. So free range there to do sketches and all this stuff. That was the initial place I was going to do my podcast from. I was going to do an on location podcast in a bar. That way people are lubricated enough to come say some crazy shit on the mic.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
It's an amazing idea.
Yeah.
It's an amazing idea.
No, because, like in the past episode, we did our past episode on the gym. Mm-hmm. It was so different. We already put out the one episode where we did on the purple. That's one of the things we want to do in the future. Like, I know next time we meet, we're going to do a whole episode through your kitchen so you could talk about your studio. But yeah, I would. It's fun doing it outside the studio. Doing an episode is fun.
I love the bar idea because these people they came here either to celebrate or sulk, and they're on something. They're either on drugs or on alcohol. They want to, and they got the mics here. I was like, this is a perfect thing. And then we had like a bowl of topics in case the conversation gets dry, which the bowl would have turned into a Twitter feed where people like live can add in suggestions for the bowl, and that way people now are part of the show. So, and this idea is still here. It's just that my podcast partner, he took a hiatus. So once he comes back in, I want to reinvigorate that idea of being in a bar doing a podcast. Not like Drink Champs, but in a sense, but meaning people they're already drunk. And I don't got to buy them anything. They're already fucked up. You know
They're already lit.
They're already lit.
Everything is provided.
Everything is there, provided, and is good to go. It's such a great idea. I just haven't gotten to that part yet because We Brands took over my whole brain. I nonstop just training for the past 2 years to just keep learning because it never stops. It never ends with design and custom stuff, man. I tried this back when I was in college. I made t-shirts for a rap group, and they were the most awfulest shirts. I was like 20 years old. 2 decades later, now I got my own shop. It's like total full circle. And I even have designs in my old rap books for clothing and stuff. I forgot about that. I used to do that. I'm like, man, I was always meant to do this, so it's not a stretch. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not far out from what I was always trying to do, how it always came together. So I thought that was fly.
No, and that's the thing. Like as far as with the message I was giving earlier, start doing everything you can early because everything just kind of comes together. Like
when you come back to
yeah. So when you are going, like, let's say, through a new path or career, you could take things that you learned from before and implement it. So
that's a good idea.
So yeah, so definitely, man. So that's awesome. Another thing I wanted to. So one thing that we do here, right? When we are, I like to ask my guests, right? And you seem like somebody who is organized, as far as or driven as far as the path that you want to take. So like where do you see yourself like a year from now?
Man.
Have you thought about that?
You know, they always tell you the 5-year plan, this year plan. With so much going on, I mean, I know where I would like to be. I would like to have We Brands being run by 2 other people, and then I could just sign off on stuff, and then I can move. Then I can move into cinematic studio, because I already built my music stuff from my end, and now I want to start doing that for my artists that are coming in. And then I want to keep building the podcast hub that I'm doing, because the podcast hub really enhances We Brands. That's why I really am doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's like these people are going to want to merch and brand their shows, and that's why it helps build this company. So this is a good thing to have. I would like to have so a year's time, 2 people running We Brands, an engineer working in cinematic for sessions, and having multiple shows producing in the podcast room, and me just overseeing and thinking of the next thing, which will probably be real estate. Really, because I had a vision to go from the closet to this big room to a warehouse to a farm. I went from the closet. I didn't get the big room. Someone else got it. But then I got 3 rooms that added up to the big room. And for me, it worked out better because, again, I was going to put everything in one room. Probably as big as this whole place, this thing right here. It lucked out for me having the multiple rooms because I split up all the businesses. And now everyone can work together at the same time without interfering with one another. They're all set up for their own thing. So the end of this year is, because I'm a one-man band. You hear everything that I'm doing. There ain't nobody there but me. The 50 shirt order comes in. I got to do that while the podcast is going on. You know, then I got my artist calling me saying, I need this beat. I need this mix and all this other stuff. And I'm like, then I have my own regular family life. Then I have MB Ranch, which is my priority for We Brands. That's our main account. MB Ranch is our main account, and they get whatever they want whenever they want. Then I have a company down in Tennessee that hires We Brands, and I have to drive back and forth down to there to do footage for them. We're going to LA the end of the month to go do something for them. It's a crazy idea, a billboard suit. Almost like a Google car or those Red Bull cars that drive around, but it's a suit that you wear and you walk around with it. We'll see what happens with it. You know, it's all practice for We Brands, and it's from my friend. I downplay it. He offered me like half the company. I was like, all right, but let's just put it towards We Brands, because We Brands needs to handle weird clientele from time to time.
all right, bad. But yeah, so no, I asked about that because the thing is, a lot of times we have to keep ourselves accountable as far as where we trying to take ourselves, because a lot of times when you focusing on something and you don't give yourself a certain time limit on you know, like where you want to be at, what happens is that it just keeps dragging, and you know, you're not giving yourself that accountability to like want to perform. Like, okay, I got like this deadline, you know, even though let's say you don't make the deadline, at least you accomplish something. What did I accomplish within this time? Okay, I accomplished this, so okay, it's worth it, so let's continue. Yeah, you know what I mean? So
absolutely, I don't like to work towards the clock or the deadline. I figure people work better without the pressure or stuff that. But you're absolutely right, because then you're going to drag it on. You need to have a certain time limit of what you want to get done by then. And like you said, even if you don't, you did a bunch of stuff to get to that point. So it's not a loss. It's not a failure. It's not that you missed the deadline. It's that you got shit done at that point. But yeah, working against the clock, not so much. Accountability. You're right, because it's all based on the choices that you make as to how far you're going to go. My issue was waiting on other people. Waiting on my brother, waiting on my rap partner, waiting on my producer, and everyone has their own stuff that they're going through. I'm the one, I kind of tailored my life where every time I wake up is my choice of what I want to do today. I can lay here forever if I wanted to. It's just, I was the way I designed it. You know what I mean? It's exactly the way I designed it. And that's why I'm happy every day, because I have no one telling me, you got to go do this, you got to do that, you got to be here by this time and all this other stuff. I'm like, I can't live my life like that. The type of person I am. I if I'm forced to, I'm forced to, but I'm not going to be happy.
So yeah, I get that part. So my next question would be, like ultimately, right? Like, give us a picture of, like, let's just say that you're gonna find your team, because the thing is that you're attracting that into your life.
Exactly. That's
so
what I see
so it's gonna happen eventually. So can you give us like a picture of what your future is gonna look like.
Well, I've been doing that. I used to think vision boards were corny as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, and it was only because my friend that I started in Tennessee, like he recommended it to me, and I just like telling him everything he like is bullshit. But having what you're working for in front of you every day and seeing what it is that you're working for can help, and it will help because you're keeping that energy around wherever you go. Now, I already took out the emails on where I see my business is going. So right now it's We Brands Print and Design. We Brands will turn into We Brands Marketing, full-blown marketing that involves everything, advertising and all this other stuff, whatever you could think of. We Brands Marketing. Cinematic Entertainment Presents is just a record label, but it's also it's everything. So what I want to turn that into is Cinematic Media. And then MB Corp will turn into MB Global. It will be an international company that's doing international shipping of goods and services going back and forth, whatever the case may be. Who knows what it'll turn into, you know? But that's where I see those three businesses going for now. So that's a Cinematic Media, We Brands Marketing, MB Global. Already have those emails because that's part of the whole vision.
Yeah.
On the vision board, and like I said, there's a lot there, but it all connects. And one thing can lead to it all. I have an Oscar, a Grammy, a Tony, a Pulitzer, and a Nobel Peace Prize. Then I have polar bears, a line of kids, Carnegie, and a Kirkland signature logo right there. I can do a documentary about kids of the polar bear. I can write the song for it. I could do the voiceover. It can air on TV. And there goes your Emmy, there goes your Oscar, your Grammy, there goes then the philanthropy, the money I make from there, I can donate to the kids or the polar bears. Yeah. And then people will give me funding to do my MB Global. It all connects. And all that stuff I do. I'm an actor. I get an Oscar. I make music. I get a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? A Tony. I'm from the theater. I can get up on stage and do that. Pulitzer. I'm a writer. Nobel Peace Prize. If I help the kids or help the polar bears, I get a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like, so that's where I see myself longevity wise, aiming for each of those. And I know that I'm gonna get to each one. And I think the documentary is probably the easiest one because that more likely to get an Oscar for that, and then if it airs on TV, that's an Emmy right there. You know, so there's ways to do this, to get it done, and it all depends on how you look at the win. You know what I mean? It could just be the littlest thing, but it could be the biggest thing to you. That's how I take wins every day. I take wins every day. Waking up at 5 a.m. is a win. Getting that first workout is a win. 3-minute cold shower is a win. Making sure I get the vitamins, that's a win. So I start the day off with nothing but wins. Great way to go into the day of a lot of bullshit because you can't control
definitely.
people.
No, but yeah. So now, I mean, what I got from this is like, is very important, and I want you guys to get this in like a perspective of this. What I'm gonna say, it's very important to have that vision board, right? Because like you have to have that vision, right? Because what's the opposite? Right, the opposite is that you just gonna wing it,
zombie.
And then you just gonna like magically make it. If you listen to all the successful people, for the most part, or well, every time I've seen it, right, I haven't seen one yet that it happened by luck. Everybody has a spreadsheet. Everybody has a vision board. They have projected where it is that they're gonna go. Right now, sometimes they have one thing, but they over exceeded. Right, but that's because you already prepared yourself, right? Because you already had that vision. So you know, like so it is important to have that vision. You're like, you know, me and Truth, we already have our vision board as well. Like we already visualize where it is that we're gonna be in the future, because we have to do that, because otherwise we're just gonna be just working to work. You know what I mean? Like the passion is there, we're working, but now let's put this let's give ourselves a deadline, right? Which we already kind of did, and we didn't reach our mark, but we looked at our progress, and then we looked at the potential, right? And then we come up with new ideas. So that's the whole purpose. You know, like when I said to give out a deadline and to you know, keep yourself accountable, and then after you reevaluate everything that you just gone through.
Self-inventory.
So that- yeah. So that, like you could go ahead and grow from it. You know what I mean? So, good things, man. Like, I'm really appreciative of you coming in here and, giving us your knowledge.
There's a couple things I brought for you guys.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I was watching the clips. You know what I mean? And what I normally do is I like to add value to things. So there's when I was looking, I saw the Level Up podcast, but I saw other places where I was like, Level Up podcast could be here, and there, and there. Like what I thought for the kid. I was like, put on the shirt. Put on the shirt. Shout out where you got the shirt from. That's going to lead to if people come to me saying, I heard about your shop from this show, well, then that's a commission for you, bro. I was like, you have to think in those ways. I'm like, maybe not everybody would offer that to you, but that's what I'm offering to you today. So when last week, right before I was coming in here, this is how fast I work. I came up with this for you guys. There's only one for now.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
That's awesome, man.
You have all success.
Oh, that's dope, man. Thank you for that.
So
Wow.
what I added to this to make it pop is the green.
Yeah.
Push it out. Maybe an even lighter green. You know what I'm saying?
That's not bad. Yeah, the green color.
Yeah.
But I feel if you're doing a show, you should only be wearing your stuff. Different variations and only your stuff. No one else's stuff. Unless they're paying you at the end of the day. But like I said, it's not about money. It's about what you got going on.
No.
So then I was-
You got the cups too.
Yeah, I was doing other prototypes. Now this, like I said, is just a prototype. The actual print has to be measured properly so it doesn't wrinkle like that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's one.
That's dope, man. Wow. Awesome.
So right before, this is how fast shit happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
I went to the office 2 hours earlier, and I'm sitting there getting all this other stuff together. I was like, you know what? I gotta bring these guys.
Yeah, can I ask you something? I want to ask you this. So, like when you have an idea, right? How fast do you start working on that idea?
You hear that?
I
Wow.
thought, I just
I don't
thought,
fuck around.
I don't know. I don't know if you're like a fan of Andrew Tate at all. Like,
Yeah,
I don't.
love
Okay.
him.
Yeah. So like he talks about that. It's like, when you have an idea, you got to start working now. Like we want results within the next hour as possible, within the next day.
Well, let me tell you a trick that I
Yeah.
do. This is like a little parlor trick. When I started to do the pool league things, right? So I'll sit there and I get people asking me for different shirts, and within like 5 minutes of talking to me, they'll give me like a word. Like one guy said alibi. And I'll find blank shirts and this and that. I'll do all the artwork because I know how to finesse it. Within 5 to 10 minutes, be like, what do you think of that? You did that just now? Like, yeah. And they want to fuck with me after that. Then they want to work with me. They're like, yo, that's amazing. Or I'll be sitting there at the bar with people like, I heard you say you wanted a shirt to look like this. And they're like, you overheard me say that? I'm like, yeah. I was like, because to me, it seems like it's not, I guess maybe there's a lot of skill to it, but I've been doing it for a while. So to me, it's just like, it's more about the creativity and stuff like that. But that's a trick that I have. How fast I get to it, right then and there. They said, I was in the group chat and someone said, the Frank stand is open, meaning SMD. And I'm like, that's hilarious. Literally 7 minutes. I got a clip art of a hot dog cart. I made a nice design. The Frank stand is open. Put it out there. I sold 6 shirts in the group chat because everybody. That's how fast I got to it, and that's how fast you gotta be. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't waste any time on this stuff. And the sooner people see it, the more likely they're gonna consume it.
Exactly,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But then again, there's also timing and things like music and movies and stuff like that. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this type of stuff, right away I just start producing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome, man. Nah, thank you for that, man. I was gonna also ask you, I wanted to ask you this question. This is another question that I usually ask, or I'm implementing more to asking any guest that comes in here, every guest, which is like how do you define success?
For myself, more or less, being in control, like having that choice. If I had to go to work every day and work for a boss that I just don't really believe, I wouldn't consider myself successful. I would consider myself a zombie.
Yeah.
Being in control of your own path. Consistency is definitely part of success. You have to have somewhat of a set routine because that's only going to build from what the work that you put in yesterday. Maybe at the top of all that, it's just being happy, man. Because everything that I'm aiming for is like when people say, "Oh, you're too comfortable," this and that. I actually had I had a girl break up with me, and later on, I found out because she told somebody else that he was too comfortable, like he didn't want to leave New Rochelle, and I'm like, and then she moved out, and then she ended up having a kid, and all this other stuff, and all this other crazy stuff. I'm like, why would I have to leave New Rochelle? I could. This is like my bat cave. I could travel the world, and because I'm smart. I don't live beyond my means. Luckily, in New Rochelle, I have a big 2-bedroom apartment, $1,200 a month in Westchester County. You know what I mean? I live on top of this big hill, 7th floor, crazy views, because I lived there my whole life. It used to be my dad's place, and I took it over. But I'm like, why would I disrupt my situation and live in debt and live in stress? You know, because owning a house is really all it is. You never really own that house. They'll take it away from you whenever they want. Like if they want to build a road going right through it, that's it. You're done. They take the house. Mm-hmm. Taxes, another COVID. What's going to happen then? You know what I mean? Like I don't see the sense in overreaching for certain things because everything that I want is here. And we all strive for the comfortability and we all strive for happiness and no stress. And I think if you have no stress, that's another level of success. Success is it could be minuscule, it could be big. Like I said, I start my day off with success, making sure I wake up 4:30, 5 o'clock, get that workout. And like I start the day off with, to me, those are all successes because not everyone's doing that. You know what I mean? That's not the majority not doing. Otherwise, we'd all be superpower people. You know what I mean? Like, nah, there's a lot of lazy people out there. And not saying that's the routine everybody needs. You know what I'm saying? But I know for myself that works. But really, success comes down to if you're happy or not. If you're miserable at your job, obviously you're not successful, and that's not a life that I would want. Doesn't matter how much money. You know what I'm saying? You make more money than you have to spend more money. So it's never money. Money comes in, money goes out. So it's never, ever the money. It's always, for me, the work. It's always the work and how people receive it. Look on people's faces when I downplay myself more or less because I like to do, I always want my first impression to be an explosion. So whenever I perform, I walk in, sit by the bar, just quiet, have my hat low, don't talk to nobody. Then I get on the stage, boom, and I'm just all over. It's like, yo, we didn't see that coming. You know what I'm saying? So I always believe big on that. But happiness, and I feel like if you follow your passion, more or less, especially in your spare time, because we all have regular obligations, like it's not a fairy tale land. There's still stuff that you have to do, even though you don't want to do. You can have the miserable job, but as long as you're taking those 5 minutes you have to focus on your vision or your craft or whatever, even if it's 5 minutes, those 5 minutes will add up throughout the year. That's what, 1,500 minutes, something like that. That's a good amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's how you utilize it. And like you said, accountability. You got to be accountable. That way you have no one else to blame but yourself for where you're lacking or where you are. I'm lucky that I don't have to tell nobody thank you. I feel like that's a great advantage for me. I don't got to owe nobody nothing because everybody just let me be. I was like, all right, good, even better, because I'm progressing and I don't have to really share this with anyone. You know what I'm saying? This is all mine. And I'm very happy and proud for that. But happiness. Happiness is the ultimate form of success. And if you're happy, that means you're following your path. You have minimal stress. You have the right people you want around you. You're not letting the darkness of the world infiltrate the light in front of you. So, yeah, I guess happiness is the ultimate level of success.
I'm gonna sound very contradicting with this one, with the question I'm gonna ask now, but I have an answer after you give your answer. What is happiness? Like what how do you define like what happiness is?
Well, like I said, it wasn't money. It's not how other people make me feel. It's knowing that my life is my choice. I'm not controlled by anything. I'm not controlled by the government. I'm not controlled by a corporation. I'm not controlled by a woman. I'm not controlled by a child. I'm not controlled by religion. I am uncontrollable. You can't do nothing with a man that don't care about money. It's like the Joker. I'll burn all that shit up and laugh about it because that shit is funny to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Put in a mirror on people's ignorance. They're going to cry because I burnt the money. Me, I'm laughing because you're crying. Fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Happiness, yeah, it's a state of mind. It passes. It goes. it's perspective, it's perception. You know what I'm saying? Clean house, fresh laundry, full fridge, knowing that the bills will be paid. That's happiness, bro. If my transmission goes right, $2,000. But I have the money to pay for it, I'm happy because I had the money. I don't care if I spend $2,000. That's the reason I have $2,000. Life's obstacles. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that I can meet those obstacles. Why do you work out? For life's obstacles, to bring laundry upstairs, to carry bags around, to take the old lady out the building. You know, happiness is being prepared for those moments where you don't have to really struggle as much. Or if you do struggle, you still come out at the end of the tunnel, man.
Yeah. So I mean, and great answer, by the way.
Yeah, it's not material stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with that. I could be happy with my comic collection, obviously, but it's more or less maybe the journey to get there that also keeps you happy too, knowing that you put in the work.
And that's what I was gonna get to. Is to me what happiness is to me is like, what story are you telling? Right? What is your story? Right? Because you know, like you might be struggling, but you never when you're in another like let's say time passed by, some people realize that when they were suffering, that's where they were the happiest.
They always say that.
When they were, no, I know.
My parents said the same thing. We were happier without money. No, we didn't care about nothing. But it's true because the money destroyed them.
But it's not, and it's not always about the money. Yeah, it's because you were able to tell that story. What if you were always poor? Then you probably end up being miserable. You know what I mean? So it's the story that you have to tell when you accomplish everything that it is that you feel that you accomplished, right? When you feel accomplished, because you know, not always you get 100% of what you want, right?
But that to build on what you said before, like if you were always poor, then you would always be miserable. But if that's all you know and you don't know nothing beyond that, you'll find a way to be happy there.
Yeah.
Humans adapt, and they're capable of monstrous things, you know what I'm saying? And I know that anyone can make a bad situation good. I know that I can look at it from another angle, you know what I'm saying? Even the past is always changing because you learn new things, so you see things different, so you go, oh, that's why I did that, that's why that happened. Then it changes everything after that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that
yeah. No, but but that was good. So do you have any mentors?
Yeah, mostly I have people that I idolize. Like, I'm big Sylvester Stallone guy. I very look up to him. I have 50 Cent was another person. Damon Dash was another person. JFK, Bruce Lee. All these I made them myself, and then I started to realize, like, how come I never looked at my father as my hero or mentor and this and that? Yeah. And then I realized that I did. And I never realized that. I always did look at my father as someone to admire. And he did teach me a lot of what I learned today, being that we were very, very similar. I've had a boxing instructor that was I have a hard problem listening to people. So my brother's always funny, like, yeah, that instructor can tell you to jump off a cliff and you'll freaking do it. I'm like, yeah, when I believe in somebody and they're telling me the right thing, I'll give them all my attention. Right now it's Guap from Union Music Studios, the guy that rents me out my place.
Oh, okay.
He's been mentoring me for years now, since I've been going there, and he steered me in the right direction. I have a couple of people that I'll listen to if they're talking, you know, but for the most part, I really don't believe a word people say. Everyone's full of shit, and I'd rather just start it off that way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because then I was like, okay, surprise me that you're telling the truth. Or,
yeah, I do believe in that.
You know what I mean?
Surprise
it's like,
me, yeah.
And people that are telling me stuff, I'll tell them that to be like, yo, I'm sorry, but I don't believe nothing. I'm like, you got to show and prove, and it has nothing to do with you. It's my trust issues. Because like I said, I've seen the way people treat each other, and it's awful. It's freaking awful, man.
It is. I mean, but it's important. Like, to me, I relate to you. I set the expectation. I don't have one.
Yeah, you got.
So you have to impress me. I have that same philosophy. I have. So I mean,
that way the littlest thing can impress you. You're not looking for something big. Like just something. Oh wow, that's cool. All right, cool, man. I'm glad that I put it right there instead of putting it all the way here. Then I was like, impress me more.
All right. So well, is there like I mean, the last thing that we do ask is what is there any like message that you have that you want to give the audience? You know, anything that you any last words, or maybe a question you have for us? You know, could be anything.
as corny as it sounds, just don't give up, man. Persistence. It's never too late. It's never too late to be great. That's probably it. It's never too late to be great. The future, the present, the past is all now. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is always changing. It's not written in stone. It is being written as you're doing stuff. It's writing itself, but then it changes because you take different directions sometimes. But if you're taking the right one, it's gonna write it out the way it's supposed to be. Right now, the synchronicities in my life is showing me that I'm in where I'm supposed to be at this very moment. Why I didn't become a child star is because this is where I'm supposed to be right now. Exactly. You know, it is what it is. But just persistence. Don't give up. Don't let nobody tell you no, man. Make it your choice. Be in control of your path because you have it. You don't have to do the things you do. You know what I'm saying? You're making all those choices. No one's forcing your hand. Accountability. Maybe that's the last word I'll say is accountability. That's a word people don't know. They are not accountable for their actions and what they've done and what they did and what they're going to do. They always have someone to blame. I ain't with it.
Oh, wow, that's a great message. And before we end this, do you have give a link or the website or YouTube?
Oh yeah, DashDubz, DubZ. That's my Instagram. That's pretty much for right now. And the same thing for TikTok. It's the same thing across the board. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube is all DashDubz. The studio is in White Plains, New York, behind the Coliseum next to the city center. And we have all the businesses there. So if you ever want to come in and chop it up about marketing or branding or podcast or making music, or if you just have a dope ass idea and you're like, I want to mess with this guy. Yeah, if you show me something, we can get it popping, man. There's free money everywhere. And not to mention everything is free. It's depending on how you look at it. Yeah. You know, everything is free. Google, YouTube, you can conquer the world, bro.
All right, so give me your link and information, and I'll make sure I put it on the episode.
That's it. It's at DashDubz. Everything's at DashDubz.
And we definitely going to be seeing you, man, in the future. So
man. We're going to do more of this. This is cool.
Okay, like I always say, if you love what we're doing, please follow us at Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. And give us our support.
Yeah, man. And the easiest way to get to us is through Instagram. We have a link. Through that link, you get to see all our platforms. So, and this is the Level Up Success podcast, and you just want to give you the deuces.
Don't forget to go up to success.
All right.